We've got Gabe Cordova, the president of Firepoint at Inman, live for you, for us. We're going to talk about what's happening in the real estate market and what's next with CRMs. Gabe, what are you finding on the floor there, man?
Man, it's sweet. So, I mean, for those of you who have not, you've been to Inman before, right?
Yeah, a
You've
lot
been
of times.
here? Man, the energy here is insane. So, if you guys have never been to Inman, highly recommend it. They do it twice a year, one in January. And I think the other's usually like July-ish. This one's obviously in New York. The one in the fall is typically San Fran, but I think they've announced already that it's going to be in Vegas for the first time. So anyway, huge, massive energy. So it's a great energy, lots going on. But one of the things I wanted to connect with you and kind of share that we're hearing and pretty much they spent all day, different panelists, different experts from agents, brokers, financial experts, all industries are really talking about what we as agents, as brokers, as team leads, as brokerages need to be seeing, looking out for, and preparing for in a shifting market. I know we've heard it a lot, and there are definitely some markets that probably haven't started seeing a shift, but a majority have, and they've been talking about it all morning. So, you know, a couple of things that they started talking about first thing this morning that triggered with me is the loans. You know, they're not the same as they were, but agents sharing that they're seeing buyers getting cash back. Now it's back to 100%, like so some of the different assistance programs. So they're seeing a lot of warning signs. They're getting us back to where we were, you know, back in 05, 06, and early 07 before things started going. And there are a handful of others they went through. But anyway, it literally is kind of the buzz here at Inman. And the thing that really resonated with me that you and I were kind of talking about is what agents need to be doing in preparation for this so it doesn't catch you off guard. I mean, we built our brokerage and team when we started just doing massive amounts in a down market as the market was coming down. I remember people when we went independent, opened our brokerage, told me and my partners that we were crazy. Like, you're not going to build a team and a brokerage and a lead gen business in a declining market. And that's not true. There are things you can be doing, but you have to have make sure you have eyes on your business and looking in certain areas, or you can go broke quickly. And those are some of the things we kind of wanted to talk about that we've been hearing here this morning.
Yeah, I think it's important that agents understand that no matter what market you're in, you can be extremely, extremely successful. And I think that's why you start hearing, hey, the market is shifting. And it usually comes from the agents at the top, right? Saying, hey, guys, be prepared. This is what's happening because we've been through it. Now, these are the things you need to do to make sure that you're successful in this market. So can we talk a little bit about what you think is?
Absolutely, but I want to bring up. I think you just said something when you're talking about agents, and especially, you know, starts typically with those top agents, the more successful. And what you'll start seeing, and they've also been talking about, is that shift back to those teams, people that have branched off. They're already starting to see, you know, where people are starting to come back, you know, because the deals aren't as plentiful, and typically the teams. Like you just mentioned, the top agents and the teams and the brokerages, they have the systems, they have the tools, and that's why they're seeing less. They're seeing this versus the sharp up and down. Yeah. And so really talking about you have got to leverage your tools and what's in front of you to minimize the impact, or really almost eliminate that impact, because there's still deals. You know, you've been doing this for a while as well. There are still teams that are being very successful in a down market. But they're just more prepared, and definitely wanted to just kind of share some of those things that we're hearing with you guys.
So I have a question here before we get into what's next with CRMs, what tools we should be using for this market. I've noticed over the last few years that have been really good for real estate agents, that a lot of these bigger teams started leaving brokerages and going on their own, creating independent and so forth. You've seen that a lot.
Yep, that's what I did. That's what I did back in the early days.
Yeah, and so do you think that as the market shifts, we'll start seeing some of these teams go back to brokerages? What are your thoughts?
You know, we did last time, right? So we did in 07 going into 08, where we saw agents who went out on their own, went independent, either shut those back down, came to brokerages, or agents who left teams and went out on their own, or started started their own teams started going back to a more established teams, and I don't think it's because these people weren't able to do it or didn't have, you know, the skill set. I just don't know if they had the processes, and that's one of the big things they started this morning talking about. So talking about the things that you really have to look at going into a shifting market is understanding your processes, right? You have to improve the process so where you're not, we're very scattered as real estate agents in general, right? We're not great about processes. We think we have a process like, oh yeah, that's what I do every time I get a listing or every time I have a buyer under contract. But I think we're going off of memory and we're doing everything very manual. And there are so many things like building action plans in our systems that we can do that'll automate a lot of this and actually get our process written down. I mean, we've heard the same thing about goals. You can have goals
So
unless you write them down. It's
where
not
do we
there, no
start?
processes.
Gabe,
So I
where
think,
do we start with that?
so here, I'm going to skip over that one for a second. I mean, well, let's just say there. So a process, you need to understand, where's my time going, right? As an agent, again, we react to our cell phones all the time in this, and we don't have processes. We need to be time blocking. When is our prospecting hours? When's our follow-up? What are we doing? And then what is our process for everything? What is our process when I get a new lead? What do and what's the difference when that lead is a PPC lead versus when it's a hand raiser like a realtor.com or a Zillow or something like that? It's understanding those processes and having them built in, because we have to be lean and mean when we have a downturn in our markets, because time is money. If we have our income goals, you know, we'll just use $150,000 as your income goal. If the market's coming down and maybe listings are sitting longer, it means you have to have more listings, or there's just not as many buyers in your pipeline. It means you need more phone calls. You can still have the same income goals and hit the same income, but you have to understand your process. So it knows if you have to make 30 phone calls to expireds to set one listing appointment, but now your listings are sitting longer. Well, maybe you have to make 60 now. It's just a numbers game. But if you, as most agents, don't understand your process of what you're doing and how you're getting your business, it makes it a lot more difficult. So you have to get those processes written down. I'd recommend something like an action plans, build a plan so that you know everything that's happening. So when you finally get the listings, that process is streamlined. You're spending less time on it. So process. And agents, you know this, we're not great at it. We don't like doing it, but it is the time to really sit down and look at what's going on in your business. And typically this is where you go into your CRM to look at, okay, what do I have? What's going on? So processes, trigger them. So when leads come in, it's automatically going to your teams immediately. We've talked about speed to lead, making sure it's getting to the right people that are there on the right follow-up campaigns. Again, those realtor.com, those Zillow, we know they're raising their hand, they're converting faster. What's that follow-up plan for that? So here's an example. Understanding your processes and knowing your numbers, right? So when we're talking no numbers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen real quick. I'll give you a perfect example. We're really good at spending money. Fair? As real estate agents?
I agree. Can I raise two hands to that?
Yeah, we all are, if we're all being honest, right? We're good at spending, more lead sources. As a turning market, I'm just going to buy more leads. Well, the last thing we want to do in a turning market is spend money that we don't need to. Guys, if your processes are in place, you need to focus on your current databases. I know you're a big fan of Ylopo. We'll chat about that a little bit. Our integration is done with Ylopo. We have so much business in our database that we need to really be focusing and nurturing that, because those are the people that are going to get us through the shifting market. So what I want to show you is an example. So we're chasing leads. Okay, all of a sudden, man, I need more leads. So what I'm going to do is I want to show like true numbers. So somebody might look at, I'm going to pick on PPC since we actually do PPC.
And I'm about to start my PPC campaign with you guys.
Perfect. So pay attention.
I'm paying. There you go.
All right. So let's look at 2018. So I'm looking at PPC leads that came into this account. All right. So I'm looking at 529 total. There's two different PPCs that are running. Look at this. Negative. Holy crap! I lost my butt. On this. There's no conversion. Negative. We're spending all this money. It cost me about $20 a lead. But if you look up here, what I did is I'm looking at 18, right? All the leads that came in. So people are like, crap, those are bad leads. I'm out of here. Firepoint, you stink. This is terrible. Guys, you need to understand process. We need to understand know our numbers. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to December of 7. Oops. Oh, need to go to the right year. Sorry. I want to go to December of 17. All right. and then look at the numbers.
Okay.
Right? This is a perfect example of agents we need to understand. So if I go back and I look at the same lead sources, now I'm at almost a 400% ROI. Why?
Dude.
What's going on? Why? So what's happened is, this is a perfect example of, guys, you don't always have to go chasing new leads. The leads in your database are a gold mine. Well, I know, because PPC is a forced registration. I'm now focusing at the leads that came in at 17. Where are they now? Of all the leads that came in, I've got a 400% because we've nurtured them longer. I know, and we've had a couple anomalies in here that came in. This number really should be more like 12 months on average, not 9. But I know when I'm focusing on the leads that have already been in my database, I still have more leads in here to close. We've got to be able to close those, versus when you start looking, you know, right away. You go back to the numbers that, well, if I just look at the last half of 18, there's no closing. So I haven't had time to nurture them yet, right? I've got all these leads, there's no time to nurture them. So we have to have time to understand our numbers and know those conversion cycles of what's going on, so that we don't just keep spending money. Because you might look at that going, wow, I haven't closed any of those leads that have come in the last 6, 12 months. So I'm going to double my investment, and then you double your focus on that new stuff coming in. As agents and team leads, we're chasing, when if you're utilizing the tools in your system to be able to tell you, hey, guess what? These leads, whether they're PPC, you've got to stick it out 10, 12 months. You guys have heard me talk about over and over, but unless you see the numbers, you don't believe it, right? We're hearing it, but we're not thinking it. You're like, I'm tired of, because every day I'm getting that person that doesn't answer the phone, or I'm getting that person that maybe has a bad email or a bad phone number. But what you're not seeing is, when you nurture them with the right tools, like the drip campaigns, the texting campaigns, with video, with image, they're converting, but down the road, because they're not ready. And this is where great integrations like with Ylopo, you know this one, what do, man? Not only do they do lead generation on Facebook and all that for you, but they nurture them along. They keep them engaged, right? You have to have your systems. Sorry, I get going and I can't stop. Cut me off.
One thing that I want to add to what you're saying. So 3 days ago, I got to talk to David Tao from Agentology. He helps us with a lot of the leads that are coming.
Love Agentology. Yep.
Right.
We're integrated with them too, just so you know. So
I know you are. That's why I'm bringing that up too, because every time they call, they put in the notes for me so the team can see if they've talked to them. But he said one thing that stuck with me. That's something that you say, but he said it differently. And I think a lot of people, he says a lot of people are buying all these leads or producing so many leads from open houses, from past clients, or all these places. And they're going into your database, and he says, and what your database has become is a database. It's dead.
Database.
And I'm like, dude, that's so brilliant, because that's how people treat it. It's dead.
Yeah. Yep.
And so what you're showing right now is a database that's alive. It's something that you're doing daily. And I think that's part of the mindset shift that we need to be doing for this new market that's happening.
Yeah. Well, and it's being proactive with the leads that we have, and not just chasing, right? Another thing they've been talking about today in a shifting market, if you're not embracing video, you're going to be dying. You're going to be spending a lot more money, because you're only going to get a very select group of people who aren't engaging and relating to somebody else who's doing video. So this means your video email, video texting. So let me go back into, I'll show another thing that we were talking about that you can easily do to really re-engage. I lost my share button. Let me go find it. Here it is. That you can do to engage people. Again, it's all about that engagement. So, utilizing video. So what I'd recommend is, we all see great listings come on, right? We see this property come on. We're like, man, this is fantastic. Something unique about it. Man, leverage your systems. Come in, go into your system. Let's say the home is listed between, I don't know, let's say it's listed at 350,000. I'm going to come into my system, pull 300 to 400,000. And if that home is in the Boise area, and I might pull in them, and I'm just going to use my market because it's easier. So Boise and Meridian right next to each other. Right? I'm not going to go try and buy more leads or increase my spend with Zillow or Realtor to find more leads in the Boise and Meridian area. What I want to do is, who's in my database currently looking? So I can now tell I have 899. Let's round up to 900.
Oh, wow.
300, 400,000 Boise. Now I'm going to come down here. How active are they? All right. I'm going to see, is it filters 3 minutes ago, 9 minutes ago, 22 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. I have a ton of people looking. So we need to work smarter, not harder. I'm going to come down here, hit all. I want to hit a mass email, and I'm going to use video, right? So now I want to do is I'm going to tell them, See, I'm going to do video inside a video here, so it takes a second to load sometimes when we're broadcasting live.
Yeah.
So so with video BombBomb integration, going to hit record, something like this. Hey guys, wanted to let you know about a great new listing that just hit the market in Boise. Check out the link below. This thing is not going to last long. It's a true gem. All my contact information is below. Let me know when you're available to go check it out. I want to get you guys into this home. Bye. So something short and sweet. It's going to come in. We're going to embed that. And what's cool again is we're one to many, right? We need to be able to hit multiple people at one time. So I'm going to come right here because I told them check it out. Now because your system should be able to integrate, I'm going to come in, pick that listing, boom. I have a video, a link directly to my front-facing website. That's all I had to do. I hit send, and I'm going to hit 800 people, and it's people looking in this area in this price. Are you focusing on the sale or the service? So we're being proactive, and we're mining the leads that we currently have, right? You want to take that to the next step. Take the same list, come down, mass assign. We use campaigns, but what this is allowing me to do is I can build a one-text campaign. Do I have one in here? Mass text. So I can build this campaign ahead of time. It's basically a quick text that says, hello, insert name. Check out this great new listing that just hit the market. Put in that same link from the MLS, hit assign. And now instead of an email, I can now send a video text to 899 people, right? So this is a way that we're able to leverage what's going on in the market, provide something of value, and nurture the leads we have. I didn't have to buy a single new lead because we've been doing this for years. All of us have been lead gen. So if we're utilizing our CRM and our systems, and they're giving us the tools to say, okay, who's looking in this price range? Who's, right now, maybe I only wanted to do the people that were on page one in the last four. I could just send that one. It's whatever it is, but we need to be able to hit one-to-many communications to stay on top.
You brought up really good points to segue into the next part of this, and that's what's next for CRMs. Look, you're the president of Firepoint, and you've used Firepoint to grow your team, to grow your business, and I know we've just started using it, but what are you seeing are some of the features that CRMs need to have? Two questions. What do they need to have? And what are you seeing things that are going to be added in the near future?
Can I add one in there? Can I add?
Sure.
I mean, you know me, I love talking about being honest.
Yes.
So what features do they need to have? What features do the agents need to be using is the one I'm going to add.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then what are we going to do in the future? So here's the big thing. It's like your iPhone. What percentage of the features in your iPhone do you actually use? Right? Not a lot. I mean, we're all guilty of that. They do so many more things, our computers, everything. So what your CRMs have to have right now, first of all, you have to be all in one, right? You have to be able to track what's going on. You need to know when are you, just like what exactly what I just showed you. Who's currently on my database? What are they looking for? How do I find that low-hanging fruit? Like you can do that same search right now and then find people who haven't been reached out to. Like it's endless possibilities. In fact, I'll be doing another webinar. I think it's next week or the week later with Beverly Ruffner. If you don't know who she is, she's fantastic. Great energy. I've done live calling where she just gets in a database.
I love her.
She's incredible. And so
awesome.
She and I were chatting last week. She wants to show us in a shifting market, again, how to identify low-hanging fruit and missed opportunities in your database. It's going to be super awesome. We're going to get into a live database, looked at missed opportunities. But it's the tool. Sorry, I'm going to get back on track. Video text, image text, video email, guys. Video, video, video. So one of the gals this morning, again, wanting to share you what I'm learning here and what everybody else is we've all heard a picture's worth 1,000 words. They literally are looking at the use of video and how it relates. And they're saying a 1-minute video is, oh, here, I have it in my notes. I want to make sure I don't screw this up. 1-minute video is worth 1.8 million words. And here's why. They're saying the way that it relates. So when you send a video versus a picture, you have tone, you have inflection, you're a real person. It's so close to a phone call, it's incredible. Plus a 1-minute video, she's saying 1-minute video, if you do one a day, you can take snippets of it. Now you can use it over and over and over again. It's about leveraging our time, especially taking it back to a shifting market. I need to be able to do more because either sales prices are coming down, which means I need to sell more homes to make the same amount of money, or they're sitting on the market longer, so I have to have more listings to have the same amount of sales a month. So we have to start working smarter, not harder, and just stop saying it and doing it. So video, and everybody's worried about video. right? I mean, just get over it. People don't really care what you look like. It's be authentic, be yourself, provide value, focus on that service, not the sale. So your system, you have to be able to send out video text, video email. You just have to. You have to be able to do it. And one to many. One to many. You got to find a way to be able to hit several people. Be careful though. I have a big disclaimer here. You know, that was, what was it? Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Mass email, you're muted, I think.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
Yeah, well, it's true, because I've seen this in office after office. We'll get a call and like, oh my gosh, I've had a huge percentage of my database unsubscribe. It's like, oh, okay, well, let's see why. Well, it looks like everybody in your office has been mass emailing their entire database every 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
Right? You can't do that. You just can't spam people.
No.
It's their journey, not yours. So as far as the features, guys, video, and integrations. That's why we're super, super excited about this integration with Ylopo, because they're doing something nobody else is doing, and not one thing always works. So man, having these integrations where you can be doing Ylopo, whether it's their lead generation and their remarketing of your current database, your PPC, bringing in your Zillow, your long-term drip campaigns and nurture campaigns, all this tying together is.
Well, I think one thing that you're not saying, and I'll say it for you, is that Ylopo only fully integrates with 3 CRMs, right?
Yep.
And you, out of the 3, are the only full CRM that they integrate with, which means you have a website, you have a back-end CRM. So that's important to note. But here's one thing that I want to add to what you were saying before that.
Yeah.
When agents are spamming, a lot of the times they're spamming, not because they're mass texting or mass emailing often, it's the content, right? It's just like, hey, how are you doing? Here are the rates. Hey, I'm having an open house. Here's the open house. Here's some listings, right? Well, why don't you take a step back and say, if I'm going to mass text or mass email consistently, I'm going to give some value. Why don't I start showing people where's a good place to eat around here? What's happening over here with your neighbors, right?
Tristan, take it a step further. I think you're on it, but you're really, really close, but I don't think you're all the way there.
All right, take me to the next level, baby.
Yes. I mean, you're paying for the technology. You just said, what are the features that things need to have? We didn't say they just have to have mass email and mass text, right? Take it deeper. If you're going to mass email about a great place in a neighborhood to eat, don't send that to your entire dang database. Go filter by that area, filter by that zip code. Who's looking at homes in this area? Now send it back to that one. So now it might be 3 or 4 different mass emails or texts that you're sending, but make it about them, not you. Does that make it, see the difference?
Well, dude, that's brilliant. That if your future CRM or your now CRM can do that, can segment off of.
It can.
Well, yours can, right?
Well,
yours
and others, yeah. Well,
but there's only very few that can. So I'm saying look for those people listening, look for a CRM like Firepoint that can help you segment by areas they're looking in. This way, you can reverse prospect and reverse communicate and nurture. Because if you're just throwing shit everywhere, it's not going to stick, because it's like a broad message.
And it's not relevant to them, right? So I mean, you cover a huge area, and I mean, in Boise, it's a huge geographic. But if I'm going to mention a great place, this great new restaurant that's in Boise, it's not going to pertain to the people probably in Kuna or Nampa or Caldwell, right? So I'm all for the mass messaging, but let's make it about them. Who's looking in these areas? Who are the people that actually care about the message I'm going to send about this? If you're emailing every time you get a new listing, why are you sending it to your entire database? Make it about their journey, not yours. So you have to, and then add video. Add the video to it, right? Make something unique about it to where they open it. We already know 400% higher open rate in the video. So it's really taking those tools and marrying them, and you hit it on the head. So you have to have that all-in-one to really understand that entire journey. So if you don't have the back end versus the front end, or they're not talking to each other, you're eliminating that. And think about it, because people are like, oh, well, man, it's an extra $200 a month from what I'm paying to have an all-in-one. It's like, wait a second. By being able to know in your database who's looking per area to be able to send them targeted value content, whether it's text or email, you don't think you're going to make more than $200 a month. You make one sale because you're able to localize your content. You just paid for the difference between a just back-end CRM versus an all-in-one in one sale. Plus, we're working smarter. So the benefits are limitless.
With what you're saying about the all-in-one, and this is the talk about, for those that are just joining us, This is the talk about the future of CRMs, what they're going to include. What I'm seeing on the lab coats level, because we get to play with every tech piece out there, this is what I'm noticing, and tell me what you're noticing. I do agree with you that that's the way of the future for things to work better, like Firepoint. But what I'm also seeing are tech companies coming in and being super nichey, like they're only doing one thing, right? And I'm not sure that that's going to benefit agents, because if I have a whole bunch of products that do different things and they don't integrate, it's not helping me.
The integration is the key. Right? The integration is the key, right? If you're having to log into multiple places and multiple things, it makes it more difficult. But to play devil's advocate a little bit there too, integration is key. I'm not going to take that back. But you also need to be aware of, you've heard me talk a lot. I like talking about the client's journey. So let's talk about Ylopo, for example. Perfect. This is an integration where we send information back and forth, activity, lead generation, all of that, so that it all talks. But then some agents are like, oh, but well, Ylopo has a front-facing website, so I don't also want to set up my Firepoint front-facing website. And here's what I need agents to understand. Your buyers, your sellers, your potential clients, your leads are on multiple websites, right? We can all admit that. We know they're on multiple websites. We don't know why, but the typical buyer's 4 to 6 websites that they're searching, right? Well, if my clients are on 4 to 6, I would like 2 or 3 of those to be mine, right? If they happen to like the Ylopo one better because it's the retargeting from Facebook and that's what they get familiar, then perfect. If they're liking the Firepoint one because it's more just homes in your face. I always talk about pretty pictures of pretty homes, and that's what they're comfortable with, then perfect. I want them on that. So people sometimes get tunnel vision thinking, I need the one perfect front-facing website. We have 3 at our office, right? If I know they're on 4 to 6, I want as many of those sites as possible to be mine, because people are going to like different things. And so I challenge agents to be open-minded, like, well, I don't want them getting listings from this one and from this one. If they're all going back to a landing page that's your brand, your name, your number, it's okay. Because I guarantee you, they're getting listings from you. They're getting listings from somebody that you compete with from probably the local MLS because they don't have a CRM. They're getting listings from Zillow. They're already getting them. So it's okay. Hit them from as many sites as possible because they're doing it anyway. So yes, integration is key, but also understand that some of these companies are a little bit different, but still integrated, have great features coming, and don't worry about your leads getting too much content, because they're getting it anyway. And the more of it that has your name and brand on it, the better.
So anything in closing, dude, I think we did it. It's 9:29.
I know we always talk about doing these 30-minute webinars, get in and out. You know what, here's, I'm going to tie it back to Inman. I know you keep saying this is all about like the future of CRMs and what's going on. I'm gonna say it a different way. We're in a shifting market, whether it's in yours or not, and other markets obviously affect others. This is less about like the future of CRMs, but your future as an agent, as a broker, and understanding that you have to have systems and tools in place to stay on top. Look at your CRM, your technology as an ROI income producing tool, and embrace it, and start with those 2 things we started at the beginning: is get your processes and systems in place, because it's going to help you work more efficiently, and know your numbers. Understand who's in your database, where did they come from, and their journey, so that you know how to go back into that database and resurrect them from the database that you mentioned. And because the gold is in there, guys, and the tools are at your fingertips. You just have to leverage it and do it. And if you're looking at doing that, I'm going to shamelessly plug the webinar coming up with Beverly Ruffner. We'll probably post something in Lab Code if Tristan's okay with it.
For sure.
It's incredible.
I love Beverly.
All about her. Yeah, she is just literally going to dig into some databases saying, here's all the dropped balls and here's how you find it. And I'm going to have a couple team leads that let us into their databases to let us kind of look behind the curtains to identify.
Dude, I'll let you look into mine as soon as we're all set up. And then that'd be good. Just remind her of the time that we first met when we were doing a battle and it got recorded. So
what?
We battled it out on the back end of our database to see who would get their first appointment live.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. No, it's going to be great. So yeah, guys, embrace the technology. Check it out. We'd love to show you more about us.
We have a question before you leave. But,
sure.
Michael or Mike Shoot is saying, hey, do all features work of Ylopo into Firepoint?
Hey, Mike. Yeah, so we're still working with, in fact, G and Howard are here. So we have a full API two-way going back and forth. So what we're working on right now is how much needs to come over, how does it display? A lot of it's already coming over, the lead gen, the notifications, and all that. So we're still fine-tuning exactly how much is enough without overwhelming. So we're still working on that. I know you're looking into them, but dude, I highly recommend it. It's been crazy, the people that have embraced it so far, but I mean, it's insane. Like these leads that are 2-3 years old they're now raising their hand saying, "Hey, here's actually my real number. Here's all." They're updating all their information with these integrations. It's crazy. So, so it is full integration. I don't have a full list of all the notifications, but we can get that to you, Mike. And just pull the trigger, Mike. I know you're looking at him. Do it, Tristan. Tristan knows.
Mike, just do it, buddy. It took me a while to switch over, but we just did. So. Very happy.
Yeah. Well, and I think he's with us already, so he's actually looking at Wailopo.
Oh,
but if you are, yeah. So I think he's with us. It was Mike Shude, you said, right? I think out of Arizona.
Yeah, you got him.
And then if you guys look, we do have the LCA promotion where we waive the setup fee, guys. If you're LCA, you saw these webinars. If you just go to firepoint.net/LCA, or just tell them on the demo, we waive all those setup fee for you guys, so you can get up and running and get you going.
Awesome, bro. Well, thank you for doing this live from Inman.
You got it. I'm going to go learn some more and share some more with you on the next one.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.